Did you miss me? The BRTV documentaries are back, and better than ever. These 12 producers have spent countless hours coming up with 12 very unique and different films for your viewing pleasure. Now let's meet the 2014 student producers. Leonid will start off the night with The Falls of Presence, a documentary that explores one of Toronto's most nostalgic bridges, the Prince Edward Viaduct.
The story that is impossible to explain, that is a complete false from the beginning, because only people that can tell that story are no longer with us.
Taylor Amaya jumps into the athletic world of power tumbling. It showcases athletes that have dedicated their lives to perfecting their talents and the competition they face around the globe.
We just see the athletes in their natural habitat pretty much, and they're just training and they're working really hard. You see them suffering, you see them having a hard time, and you see them succeeding in their passes, and I think that's what stands out because it's really raw.
Kelly McCrory explores the ever-growing trend of selfies with her documentary, Selfie Steam. The film takes a closer look at how young women perceive themselves through a selfie.
A lot of people do view selfies to be narcissistic and vain. I will admit that I did when I started this documentary. But I think a lot of people are going to think about it differently and see the more positive sides of selfies and think it's a little less ridiculous than it is, hopefully. Supu Sun presents Flying Dreams in a Foreign Country. The film follows the story of Sheena, a girl who moved from China to Canada and explores her accomplishments as an international student.
I want to people believe that as long as you have your dream, just following it, you can make it come true.
Hannah McGregor's documentary, TBD, To Be Determined, questions whether the city of Toronto is architecturally beautiful.
But it's interesting if people don't know anything or never thought about it before. It's kind of a new perspective on something they just used it something as buildings for their whole life, and now it's maybe just something to look at it differently.
Stephen Bagazzoli introduces Sold. The film takes us behind the scenes of the operations and organization of an auction house.
You know, I really want people to look into that, that auction world the way that I look into it, It's exciting. It's way more interesting than going to a counter and buying an item when you can maybe bid against another person, make it a little competition, Add that little flair, that extra little oomph.
Scott Holmes presents The Comfort Zone, which follows picky eater Sam as he travels to different restaurants to eat international cuisine.
I think some will not understand it, but I think others that are affected by the problem will be able to hopefully overcome it or take the next step in doing so.
Matthew Giswaldi takes a look at the heroic side of being a firefighter with his documentary On the Front Line.
Being a first responder means you respond to everything and not just fire. You respond to medical calls, you respond to anything and everything that requires help.
James Kervick introduces Beneath the Surface, a documentary that showcases the story of Pina Newman as she shares her personal struggles of being a transgender woman.
I think people are going to be very intrigued. It's going to be an eye-opener for them, and hopefully it's going to change their perspectives.
Eric Bang's film Steady As She Goes documents Olympic hopeful Kate Van Buskirk on her inspirational journey of chasing after her dreams.
I come from a background of competing in track and field myself, and I knew that Kate was a very well-known athlete within our community who is right now having huge strides in her career, and that she would just be the perfect kind of spokesperson for our sport. So as much as it is about Kate, it's also about her bringing attention to this community.
Kevin Hazelhurst's documentary Stan takes a look at how worshiping celebrities are not just for crazy teenage girls.
I'm hoping it'll give some perspective into something that a lot of people might not understand.
And finally, to end the night, Melissa D'Souza presents The Meeting Place, a documentary that follows the Searcher Group, a paranormal team investigating an 18th century barn that is believed to be haunted.
After you watch this documentary, that you won't only feel the goosebumps and the tingly feeling but you'll also be really creeped out. So when you go home and you hear a noise, you'll start questioning what that noise really is.
Each producer has assembled a team of very talented students who have contributed endless hours of hard work and dedication to these documentaries. Enough of this crap, let's just watch some docs. So let's give a big hand for those BRTV documentaries. What did you think? Well, there's always next year, right?